Captain Daniel Hayes stood at the window of the command center and looked out at the colony below. Haven 7 was not beautiful, but it was home to 1,000 people. It was built on a planet with brown dirt, gray rock, and small green plants that humans had brought from Earth many years ago. The colony had buildings made of strong metal, water towers, food storage houses, and homes where families lived together. Daniel was 53 years old. He had been a soldier for 30 years. His face was marked with lines from long years of work under the sun of many different worlds. He had fought in 3 wars and lost friends in each one. Now he led the military forces of Haven 7. It was not a big force. He had 200 soldiers, some good weapons, and a lot of hope. The day was normal. The sun was setting. The workers in the farms outside the colony walls were coming home. Children played in the streets between the metal buildings. It was a day like any other day on Haven 7. Then the alarm came. The sound started low, then grew loud. It was the alarm that meant danger was coming. Daniel turned from the window fast. His second officer, Lieutenant Kevin Murray, ran into the command center. His face was white. "Captain," Kevin said, "we have ships coming. Many ships. From the direction of the Valorian Empire." Daniel felt his heart move faster. The Valorian Empire was the danger that kept all the colonies awake at night. They were big, they were strong, and they did not care about human life. The Valorian Empire had taken 10 human colonies in the past 5 years. Each time they came, they took what they wanted and left only death. "How many ships?" Daniel asked. "1 big command ship and 8 small fighter ships," Kevin said. "They will be here in 4 minutes. They are not hiding. They're sending a message on all the channels. They want us to hear them." Daniel went to the communication station. The operator, a young woman named Grace Wilson, turned to him. "Captain, they want to speak with you. This is their message." A sound came from the speakers. It was a deep voice, like the sound of earth moving. The words came in the human language, but something about them sounded wrong and hard. "I am Kethver, destroyer of the Valorian fleet. You will surrender now. You will give me what I want, or I will burn your colony from the sky. You have 10 minutes to decide. Give me the child." The command center became quiet. Every person stopped moving. Every person stopped breathing. "Give them the child? What does that mean?" Grace asked. "What child?" Daniel did not answer. He was thinking. The Valorian Empire did not ask for children. They asked for resources. They asked for metal and technology and fuel. They did not ask for children. "Get me the complete scam report," Daniel said. "I want to know what they are looking for." The science officer, Marcus Long, was already working. Numbers and pictures came up on his screens. He looked at the data for a long moment. His hand shook when he moved the mouse. "Captain," Marcus said, "they are scanning the colony. But they are not scanning the technology section or the food stores. They are scanning the people. They are scanning the children." Daniel felt something cold move through his chest. This was not a normal attack. This was something else. "Alert all military units," Daniel said. "Get every person in this colony to the shelters now. And send the message to all families. Lock your homes. Keep your children with you. We are preparing for defense." The alarm sound changed. Now it meant something different. It meant that all people must go to the shelters under the colony. The shelters were deep under the metal buildings, safe from weapons that came from the sky. In her home 3 blocks away, Linda Carter heard the alarm. She was sitting at the table, eating food with her daughter Emma. Linda's work was to help plants grow in the colony. Emma was 7 years old. She had her mother's brown eyes and her father's smile. "Mama, what is that sound?" Emma asked. "That is just an alarm," Linda said. But her voice was not calm. "We need to go to the shelter now. Come with me." Emma got up from the table. She was not afraid. Emma was almost never afraid. Her father used to say that Emma was born without the part of the brain that made people scared. Robert Carter worked in the machines that made water for the colony. He was at work when the alarm came. He ran home fast. He got there before the Valorian ships came down from the sky. Robert picked up Emma and held her in his arms. "We have to go to the shelter," he said. "What is happening?" Linda asked him. "I do not know," Robert said. "But we have to go now." The three of them went down into the shelter. The shelter was big and made of strong metal. Hundreds of people were already there. It was cold and bright with electric light. Children cried. Parents tried to calm them. Everyone was scared, but not Emma. Emma sat and looked at the metal walls. She held her father's hand and did not seem worried. She looked like she was thinking about something far away. Above the ground, the Valorian ships came down. The big ship landed in the center of the colony. It was not made of metal like human ships. It was made of something darker, something that looked almost like black stone. The ship was long and thin like a weapon. The 8 fighter ships landed in a circle around it. The back of the big ship opened. A ramp came down. And then Cathver came out. He was very big. He was 8 feet tall and wide across the shoulders. His body was covered with gray and silver armor. The armor looked hard, like it was made of rock. His head was large, and his eyes were green like stones. When he moved, the ground seemed to shake. When he spoke, his voice came like thunder. Cathver walked toward the command center. 200 of his soldiers came with him. Each soldier was tall and wore armor. Each soldier carried weapons that humans did not have. Daniel Hayes was outside the command center, waiting. He had some soldiers with him, but not many. He knew that if Cathver wanted to fight, the humans would lose. But Daniel was a soldier. He would not hide. He would not run. "I am Captain Daniel Hayes," Daniel said. "I speak for this colony." Cathver looked down at the human captain. He looked like he was looking at something that was not important. "Where is the child?" Cathver asked. "I do not know what child you want," Daniel said. "If you tell me what you're looking for, maybe we can talk." "I know you have it," Cathver said. "My people scanned your colony. We found something. A child with DNA that is different from the others. A child with something we want. You will give it to me, or this colony will burn." Daniel understood now. They did not want resources or technology. They wanted a person. They wanted a child. He thought of all the children in the shelter under his feet. He thought of Emma Carter, who was brave and kind and loved to smile. He did not know if Emma was the child they wanted, but he would not let anyone hurt any of the children in his colony. "No," Daniel said. "We will not give you anyone. You can attack us if you want, but we will fight. We will protect our people." Cathver was quiet for a moment. Then he raised his hand. His soldiers pointed their weapons at the command center, that the battle for Haven 7 had not started yet. But the choice had been made. The humans would not give up their children. Not for anything. Not for anyone. Even if it meant they all had to die. The alarm system changed again. The new sound meant that weapons were ready. The new sound meant that people would die in the shelter far below the ground. Linda held Emma close to her chest. The shelter was shaking. The sound of explosions came from far away. The metal walls around them made the noise louder and scarier. Many people were crying. Some people were praying. Emma felt her mother's arms around her. She did not cry. She did not feel scared like the other children. Instead, she felt something different. She felt sad that people had to die. She felt sad that her mother was afraid. Robert held them both. "It will be okay," he said. But he did not believe it. He looked at the metal ceiling and thought about the alien commander above them with his weapons and his soldiers. Above the ground, the battle was happening very fast. The human soldiers fired their weapons at the Valorian fighters. The weapons made fire and loud sounds. But the Valorian weapons were much stronger. For every Valorian soldier that fell, 3 human soldiers fell. Captain Daniel Hayes was in the command center. He could see the battle on screens. He could see his soldiers dying. He could hear the sounds of the weapons. He made decisions about where to send more soldiers, where to move the defense, how many people would die because of his orders. Lieutenant Kevin Murray came to him. Kevin's uniform was dirty with dust and blood. "Captain, we cannot hold them much longer. They are too strong. They will reach the main shelter in 10 minutes. What do we want to do?" Daniel knew what that question meant. It meant Kevin was asking if they should let all the people in the shelter leave, knowing that some would escape and some would be caught. It meant that soon Daniel would have to make the hardest decision that any leader ever has to make. "Send half the soldiers to the underground tunnels," Daniel said. "Get as many people as possible to the east shelter. I will keep the defense here. We will slow them down as much as we can." Kevin saluted and left. Daniel stood alone in the command center, watching his soldiers die on the screens. And he thought about all the families that were counting on him to keep them safe in the shelter. The shaking was getting worse. The lights started to go out and come back on. People were moving toward the tunnels. Robert was helping to move people through the passages. Emma was holding her mother's hand, walking with the crowd. But Emma was thinking about something different. She was thinking about the big alien commander. She was thinking about what he wanted. She was thinking about all the soldiers outside who were dying because of him. Emma knew something that the adults around her did not know. She knew that the soldiers were dying because they were protecting her. The command above the ground said, "Give me the child." The soldiers were fighting because they did not want to give Emma to the alien commander. Emma was not afraid of Kethvar. Emma had never been afraid of anything. But she understood fear. She had seen her mother afraid. She had seen her father afraid. And she understood that fear made people do things that hurt other people. Emma let go of her mother's hand. "Emma, no," Linda said. She reached out to grab her daughter, but Emma was already running back. Emma was running toward the tunnels that went up to the surface. "Emma, come back." Robert was running after her now. But Emma was fast. Emma was small. Emma moved through the crowd of people like water moving through a stream. Linda and Robert could not catch her. They could not follow her up the tunnel. There were too many people in the way. Emma ran up the tunnel. The tunnel was dark. The lights were going on and off. She could hear the sounds of the battle getting louder and louder. She could hear Valorian weapons and human weapons and explosions. But she did not stop running. She came out of the tunnel at the main entrance to the colony. The main entrance was big, and it was open. The metal doors had been broken by the Valorian weapons. Outside, she could see the Valorian command ship. She could see Valorian soldiers walking toward the colony. Emma walked out. The ground was hard under her feet. The air was different from the air inside the colony. It smelled like burning metal and hot stone. She could see the big alien commander standing with his soldiers. He was very big. His armor was very hard. He looked very strong. Emma walked toward him. All the Valorian soldiers stopped moving. They looked at this small human child walking toward their commander. They did not understand what was happening. Kethvar looked down at the child. He was holding a weapon in his hand. He could kill this child with one movement. One movement, and the scanning mission would be complete. One movement, and he could take the body back to his empire. But something made him stop. The child was smiling. Emma came very close to Kethvar. She was so small that his foot was as big as her whole body. She looked up at his face. She was not afraid. Her smile was real. Her smile was like light. "I know you came for me," Emma said. Her voice was small, but she said the words clearly. Kethver did not understand. He was a warrior. He was a destroyer. He did not understand why a child would smile at him. "I am not afraid," Emma said. "But my mother is afraid. My father is afraid. Soldiers are dying because you came. And I know what hurt feels like." Kethver looked at this child. He did not move. "One time," Emma said, "I saw a bird with a broken wing. It could not fly. My mother said that hurt is the worst feeling in the world. She said that the bird felt pain. She said that pain makes everything bad. I do not want my mother to feel pain. I do not want my father to feel pain. I do not want the soldiers to feel pain. If you take me, they will all feel pain. And I know that is bad." Kethver, the destroyer, the commander of the Valorian fleet, the killer of 1,000 enemies, did not speak. He did not move. He did not understand what was happening to him. For the first time in his life, someone was speaking to him like he was not a weapon. Someone was speaking to him like he was a person. Behind Emma, the Valorian soldiers did not know what to do. They waited for their commander to give an order. They waited for him to take the child, but Kethver did not move. Emma reached out her small hand. She put it on the hard armor of Kethver's arm. The armor was cold, but Emma did not take her hand away. "I am Emma," she said. "What is your name?" And for the first time in his long, violent life, the great commander answered a question that was not in order. He answered a question that came from a small child with a smile. "I am Kethver," he said. The fighting stopped. No one gave an order to stop fighting. But when Kethver did not attack Emma, the Valorian soldiers stopped moving. When the Valorian soldiers stopped moving, the human soldiers stopped shooting. The silence came very fast, and it was louder than all the noise of the battle. Captain Daniel Hayes watched on the screens. He saw a small girl standing in front of the giant commander. He saw that nothing was happening. He did not understand. He gave the order to all soldiers to hold their positions and wait. Inside the colony shelter, Linda heard that the noise had stopped. She was shaking. Robert held her. They did not know what had happened to Emma. They did not know if she was alive or dead dot above the ground. Kethver looked at Emma. He looked at her small face and her brown eyes and her smile. He had conquered 500 worlds. He had killed millions of enemies. He had never let anything stop him from doing his work. But this small child was stopping him from his work. Kethver made a decision. He ordered his soldiers to stand back. He ordered them to keep their weapons down. The soldiers did not understand, but they obeyed that. Then Kethver sat down. His armor was so heavy that when he sat, the ground shook. But he sat down. Now his face was closer to Emma's face. "Why did you come to me?" Kethver asked, thought Emma was still smiling. "Because you are the one who makes the decisions," she said. "I came to talk to you. I came to tell you something. What do you want to tell me?" Kethver asked, thought Emma thought for a moment. She was only 7 years old, but in that moment, she thought like someone much older. She thought about pain and fear. She thought about why people hurt other people. She thought about why this big alien commander had come to take her away. "I think you do not know what it feels like to be kind," Emma said. Kethver did not answer. He was thinking about what the child said. "I think that you were made to be a weapon," Emma said. "I think that people told you to hurt things. I think that nobody ever told you that you could choose not to hurt things. I think that nobody ever smiled at you because they loved you. They only smiled because they were afraid." Kethver was very quiet. He looked at the small human child, and something moved inside him that had never moved before. "My father once said something to me," Emma said. He said that every person can choose to be good or to be bad. He said that the choice is always there, even when it is hard. He said that good people choose to help, not to hurt. I am not a good person, Cuthbert said. I am a weapon. Weapons hurt things. That is what weapons do. But you do not have to be a weapon anymore, Emma said. You can choose to be something else. Cuthbert stood up. He was very confused. He had been a commander of the Valorian fleet for 40 years. He had never thought about choices. He had only followed orders. He had only done his work. But now a small child was telling him that he could be something else. He called for a communication officer. A young Valorian soldier came to him. Make a place for the child to sit, Cuthbert said. We will talk. The soldiers built a small shelter from parts of their equipment. Emma and Cuthbert sat inside, and they talked. Emma told him about human families. She told him about love. She told him about why her mother would miss her if she was gone. She told him about how her father was sad when he saw dead things, even small dead things. She told him about the hurt that comes when you lose someone you love. Cuthbert listened. He had never heard words like these. In the Valorian Empire, warriors did not talk about love. They did not talk about sadness. They talked about power and victory and conquest. Do you have a family? Emma asked. Cuthbert looked away. I was made in a lab, he said. I do not have a mother or a father. The Valorian Empire made me. I belong to the Empire. That is sad, Emma said. I am sorry. And she was sorry. Emma felt real sadness for this big alien commander who had been made as a weapon and had no family to love him. Emma took his hand again. His hand was very big. She was very small, but she held his hand, and Cuthbert felt that kindness. Inside the command center, Captain Daniel Hayes received a message. Cuthbert wanted to talk. Not to fight, but to talk. This was strange. This was not how these things happened. Usually when Valorian commanders came, they took what they wanted and left death behind them. They did not talk. Send a small team to talk with him, Daniel said. Send 2 soldiers with medical help. Send the communication officer. And be ready to shoot if this is a trick. But it was not a trick. When the human officers came out, Cuthbert did not hurt them. He told them that he would protect the colony. He told them that he would not take Emma away. He told them that he had decided to stop being a weapon. The human officers did not believe this at first. But Cuthbert showed them that he meant what he said. He ordered his soldiers to stand down. He ordered them to put their weapons on the ground. He told them that they were no longer serving the Valorian Empire. They were now protecting Haven 7. Some of the soldiers obeyed. 22 soldiers put down their weapons. 22 soldiers decided to follow their commander into something new. The other 10 soldiers did not put down their weapons. They were still loyal to the Empire. They tried to shoot Cuthbert, but Cuthbert was faster. Cuthbert was stronger. Cuthbert had been made to be a weapon, but now he was using his weapons to protect Emma and the colony. The 10 soldiers were defeated. They were captured, not killed, because Cuthbert was learning something that Emma had taught him. He was learning that you can win without having to kill everyone. By the end of that long day, everything had changed. The Valorian commander had become a protector. The attacking force had become a defending force. And a small child with a smile had done something that no weapon could do. She had changed a warrior's heart. That night, Emma sat with Cuthbert under the stars. She told him about Earth. She told him about animals and plants and families and love. Cuthbert listened to every word. He was learning a new language. The language was not words. The language was kindness. And he was learning it from a 7-year-old girl who had never been afraid in her whole life. The message came through the Valorian communication channels at the worst possible time. Kethfer was having breakfast with Emma. They were in the human colony in the eating place called the cafeteria. Emma was teaching Kethfer about bread and fruit and juice. Kethfer was learning about the taste of food that was not made from machines, but the message came. It was from High Command. It was a command to return to the Valorian Empire immediately. It was a command that said Kethfer had betrayed the Empire. It was a command that said Kethfer must be destroyed. Kethfer read the message. Emma saw his face change. "What is wrong?" Emma asked. "My empire wants me to come home," Kethfer said. "Or they will kill me." Emma did not say anything for a moment. She was eating fruit. The fruit was small and sweet. "What do you want to do?" Emma asked. Kethfer looked at the small child. He thought about his life. He thought about the things he had done. He thought about the things he had ordered other people to do. He thought about Emma teaching him about kindness. "I want to stay here," Kethfer said. "I do not want to go back to being a weapon." Emma smiled. "Then tell them that," she said. "Tell them that you do not want to be a weapon anymore." So Kethfer did something that had never been done before. He sent a message to all the Valorian military channels. He sent the message to all the ships of the Valorian fleet. He sent the message to all the colonies that the Valorian Empire controlled. He sent the message to every frequency where it could be heard. And in that message, he told his story. He told about the child who came to him without fear. He told about the smile that made him understand something new. He told about the words that made him think about his life for the first time. He told about learning that he did not have to be a weapon. He told about learning that he could be something else. He told about love. He told about kindness. He told about human families that would die to protect their children. He told about an empire that was built on fear and pain. He told the truth. And he told it to everyone. The message was heard by millions of Valorian soldiers. The message was heard by workers in the Valorian factories. The message was heard by people who had lived under Valorian control their whole lives. The message was heard by people who had never heard anyone speak like this before. Some soldiers heard the message and wanted to think about it. But the Valorian High Command did not give them time to think. The High Command was afraid. The High Command was afraid that if soldiers started thinking about kindness, they might stop following orders. The High Command was afraid that if soldiers heard about freedom, they might want to be free. So the High Command made a new order. The order said that Kethfer was a traitor and must be killed. The order said that any soldier who listened to Kethfer's message was also a traitor. The order said that all forces must attack Haven 7 and destroy it and everyone in it. The Valorian fleet was far away, but not too far away. They were 3 light years away, but they could travel very fast. They could be at Haven 7 in 6 hours. Captain Daniel Hayes was told about this. He called Kethfer to the command center. Kethfer came, and Emma came with him. She held his hand. "They're coming," Daniel said. "Your empire is sending the whole fleet. 30 ships. Maybe more. We cannot fight them. Our weapons are too weak. We have no chance to win." Kethfer was quiet. He was thinking about what his choice meant. His choice meant that everyone in this colony would die. His choice meant that people would suffer. His choice meant that pain would come, but it was his choice. "I can help," Kethfer said. He went to the communication center. He started to work on the old Valorian equipment that was in the colony. He started to send information to the human soldiers. He told them about the Valorian fleet. He told them about their ships and their weapons. He told them about the ways the ships were protected. But more important, he told them about the ways the ships were not protected. He told them about secret frequencies that could be used to talk to the ships. He told them about the way to jam the weapons. He told them about a Valorian weapon storage place that was only 3 light years away. He told them that if they could get to that storage place, They could get weapons that were as strong as the weapons of the Empire. You cannot fight the Valorian fleet with your current weapons, Kethver said. But if you have the right weapons, and if you have the right information, maybe you can defend yourself. Maybe you can survive. Captain Daniel listened to everything. He started to plan. He sent the fastest ships that the colony had to the weapon storage place. He started to prepare the defenses. He started to teach the soldiers what Kethver had told him. But Daniel knew something. Even with Kethver's help, it was not enough. The Valorian fleet was too big. The colony's weapons were too weak. If the fight happened, the colony would lose, unless something else happened. Kethver was thinking about this. He was sitting with Emma again, looking at the stars. Emma was asleep against his side. He was very careful not to move because he did not want to wake her up. "You are thinking hard," a voice said. It was one of the soldiers who had stayed with Kethver. His name was Tesh. Tesh was young, only 30 years old. He had come to Kethver when the commander was fighting against the colony. But after hearing Kethver's message about kindness, Tesh had decided to stay. "I am thinking about what will happen," Kethver said. "The Empire will come. They will want to kill me. They will want to kill Emma. They will want to kill everyone in this colony." "Yes," Tesh said. "This is true. I do not want that to happen," Kethver said. "Neither do I," Tesh said. Kethver looked at all the stars in the sky. He thought about how big the galaxy was. He thought about all the people who did not know about what had happened here. He thought about all the people who would never know. That a small child had changed a warrior's heart dot, and then Kethver understood what he had to do. He had to make sure that everyone knew. He had to make sure that the whole galaxy knew what the Valorian Empire really was. He had to make sure that hiding this story would not be possible. "Tesh," Kethver said, "I need you to do something for me." "What?" Tesh asked. "I need you to take the smallest ship we have," Kethver said. "I need you to go to every trading station, every human colony, every place where there are ships. And I need you to tell them what happened here. I need you to tell them about Emma. I need you to tell them about kindness. I need you to broadcast it on every channel. Make it so that no one can stop the message. Make it so that the whole galaxy knows." Tesh nodded. He did not ask questions. He understood what this meant. It meant that if the message was everywhere, the Valorian Empire could not commit genocide without the whole galaxy knowing why. "I will do this," Tesh said. And as Kethver watched his friend leave to take the message to the stars, he felt something that he had never felt before. He felt proud. He felt like he was doing something important. He felt like he was becoming something more than a weapon. Emma woke up. She looked at Kethver's face in the starlight. "What are you thinking?" she asked. "I am thinking about hope," Kethver said. "I am thinking about how even small people can change big things. I am thinking about how a child can teach a warrior what it means to be alive." Emma smiled and went back to sleep against his side. And Kethver stayed awake, watching the stars, waiting for the Valorian fleet to come. The Valorian fleet came through space like a dark cloud. 30 ships, each one bigger and stronger than anything the human colony had. The ships moved fast. They moved toward Haven 7 with weapons ready. They wanted to kill Kethver. They wanted to kill Emma. They wanted to destroy everything. Captain Daniel Hayes stood in the command center. He had soldiers ready. He had weapons ready. But he knew that none of this would be enough. He looked at the screens that showed the approaching fleet, and he understood that this was the end. But then, Kethver came to him. "We can use a strategy," Kethver said. "It is called the honey badger protocol. There is an earth animal called a honey badger. It is small. It is not the strongest animal. It is not the fastest animal. But when an animal much bigger tries to hurt it, the honey badger does not run. The honey badger does not give up. The honey badger fights back in ways that the bigger animal does not expect. Emma had told Kethfer about honey badgers. She had shown him pictures on a computer. She had told him that honey badgers were brave and would not give up even when everything was against them. "This is what we must do," Kethfer said. "We cannot beat the Valorian fleet in a normal fight, but we can be like the honey badger. We can fight in ways they do not expect." Kethfer went to the computers. He worked with human technology and Valorian technology together. He made the computers talk to each other. He made signals that could confuse the Valorian ships. He made information that could break the Valorian weapons. The smallest human ship left the colony. It carried Tesh and the message about Emma. That ship went to trading stations and human colonies. That ship broadcast on every channel. It told the story of how a small child had changed a commander's heart. It told the story of how the Valorian Empire wanted to kill people just because they said no. The Valorian fleet heard the broadcast, but they could not stop it. Every person in the galaxy was hearing a message now. Every person was learning the truth about what the Valorian Empire wanted to do. The Valorian High Command made a decision. The fleet would still attack Haven 7, but they had to be fast. They could not let this story spread more. They could not let the galaxy see them commit genocide in the light. They moved faster. They would be at Haven 7 in 3 hours now. Captain Daniel gave the order. All soldiers went to their battle stations. All weapons were ready. The humans would fight. They would not win, but they would fight. Emma was not in the shelter this time. She was with Kethfer in the command center. Kethfer wanted her to be safe, but Emma did not want to go to the shelter. Emma wanted to be with Kethfer. The first Valorian ship came into the sky above Haven 7. The weapons started. The explosions came. But this time, something different happened. When the Valorian weapons fired, they did not hit the colony. The weapons hit empty spaces. The weapons hit rocks and dirt. The weapons did not hit human buildings, because Kethfer had shown the human soldiers how to use the Valorian frequency codes. The human soldiers were talking to the Valorian ships. The human soldiers were sending false signals. The false signals told the Valorian weapons where things were when those things were not there. The Valorian ships were shooting at nothing, and while they were shooting at nothing, the human soldiers were shooting at them. The weapons that came from the storage place that Kethfer told them about were very strong. They were stronger than anything the human colony had before. The human soldiers used these weapons. They used them well. The first Valorian ship was damaged. It could not fight anymore. It had to leave, but this was not the main battle. The main battle was happening in the computers. Kethfer was fighting a battle that nobody could see. He was in the computer systems of the Valorian fleet. He was using the knowledge that he had learned when he was a commander of that fleet. He was using the knowledge about how to break Valorian systems. He sent signals that made the Valorian ships think they were under attack from each other. He sent signals that made the weapons not work. He sent signals that made the ships confused and unable to talk to each other. Emma was watching the screens. She could see what was happening. She could see that Kethfer was winning. But she could also see that the main Valorian ships were getting closer. She could see that soon the main fleet would arrive. And then, even Kethfer might not be able to stop them. Emma put her hand on Kethfer's arm. "You are doing good," she said. Kethfer did not stop working. He had his eyes on all the information coming to him. He was making decisions very fast. He was ordering the human soldiers where to shoot. He was ordering the ships to move. He was ordering the defenses to stay strong. But he heard Emma's words. And he understood that even if he lost this fight, he had already won something bigger. He had already changed. He had already become something more than a weapon. The first fleet of Valorian ships reached Haven 7. They started to attack. But they were not united. Kethver had broken their communication. They could not work together. The human soldiers attacked them one ship at a time. And one ship at a time, the Valorian ships were damaged. 2 Valorian ships were destroyed. 3 Valorian ships were badly damaged. The commanders of the Valorian fleet made a decision. They could not win this fight. Not like this. The message about Emma was spreading. The whole galaxy was watching. If they committed genocide, the whole galaxy would know that the Valorian Empire was evil. The Valorian fleet made the decision to leave. The ships turned around. They went back to the direction they came from. They left Haven 7. They left Kethver and Emma and the human colony. The alarm in the command center changed. It was the alarm that meant the danger was gone. The soldiers started to cheer. The people in the shelters started to cry because they were alive. Parents held their children. Soldiers held each other. But Emma did not cheer. She was looking at Kethver. Kethver was very tired. He had been working for many hours without sleep. His eyes were almost closed. But he was smiling. "We did it," Kethver said. "We won." "You did it," Captain Daniel said. He was standing in the command center, and he had tears on his face. "You saved us all." "No," Kethver said. "Emma did it. Emma showed me what was worth fighting for. Emma showed me that a small thing can be bigger than a big thing. Emma showed me that kindness is stronger than weapons." Emma walked to Kethver. She was very small next to him, but she was not afraid. She put her hand on his armor. "You changed," Emma said. "That is why we won. You changed from a weapon into a protector. You changed from a destroyer into a helper. You chose to be good." Kethver knelt down so that his face was close to Emma's face. And he did something that he had never done before in his whole life. He cried. The tears came from his eyes, and they were real tears. "Thank you," Kethver said. "Thank you for showing me that I could be more than what I was made to be." The sun was setting on Haven 7. The colony was damaged, but it was alive. The people were hurt, but they were together. The commander who came to take away a child had become the protector of everyone. And a small girl with a smile had done something that no army could do. She had changed a warrior's heart. In the days that came after, the colony began to heal. Kethver worked with the human soldiers. He taught them about the galaxy. He taught them about the dangers that were out there. He taught them how to survive. But more than that, he learned. He learned about families. He learned about love. He learned about kindness. He spent time with Emma every day. They would sit and talk about Earth and about life and about why being kind was harder than being strong. But more important, Haven-7 became a place where humans and Valorians lived together. Other Valorian soldiers came to the colony. They heard about what Kethver had done. They heard about how a child had changed everything. And some of them wanted to change too. Some of them wanted to stop being weapons. The story spread through the galaxy. Humans heard about it. Other species heard about it. The message that Tesh had broadcast went everywhere. Everyone learned that sometimes the smallest and most unexpected thing can change the biggest and most powerful thing. The Valorian Empire never came back to Haven 7. The Empire was afraid. The Empire was afraid of a small child with a smile. The Empire was afraid of a commander who had chosen kindness over power. And in all the galaxy, no one was more dangerous to the Valorian Empire than Emma Carter, a 7-year-old girl who had never been afraid in her whole life, because she had taught them something that weapons could not teach. She had taught them about hope.